Hello everyone, Silently here and welcome back to another episode of Bugrock of the Week. Today we're going to be looking at the newest Bedrock Edition beta 1.18.024. This beta comes with some very nice changes, some great updates, some nice parity features, UI additions, and also a surprisingly big nerf to slime farms that use Snow Golems. We're going to be talking about all of this stuff and more in today's episode, so stay tuned, we got a lot of stuff to cover. This beta adds a lovely new user interface menu when you try to play an older world inside of 1.18. So if we click on this, you'll see world update. This update makes your world higher and deeper. It adds more blocks and caves under your current world, so there's more to explore underground. And then of course you can choose to either make a copy or a backup of this before you start playing in it, just in case something goes wrong, and I would highly suggest making backups like all the time. So we're gonna go ahead and hit update and play, and that'll load us into our world. So now we are in the world, and as you can see, everything's loading in just fine. We can dig straight down and we'll be able to go into the negative coordinates, find deep slate and all of that other loveliness, and of course end up straight in some lava. So as you can see, we have a little bit of a chunk border right here, and we actually got the new aquifers and new caves and stuff. And if we dig down even deeper, we should hit ourselves the negative coordinates and there still be caves. Yes, indeed, that is a huge cave. So as you can see, this does indeed add the new caves and new world generation underneath your existing worlds, and there's going to be a little bit of terrain bugginess, but that is kind of to be expected, and I don't think it's going to be too big of a deal. So this is something that isn't really that new, and we've talked about extensively in previous videos, but essentially this makes it so that you do not need to reset for 1.18. You can continue playing in your existing worlds no matter how old they are, and of course that means that you can get a lot more longevity out of it, and you can also re-explore areas that you've already been as well. For example, if you have a strip mine at Y layer 12, well guess what? You now got 64 additional layers of cave underneath that can contain the ore veins and all kinds of amazing stuff. So there really is a lot more gameplay with your existing worlds when you update to 1.18. That was a new sound for clicking that menu. I want to see how far back this actually works, so I'm currently in version 0.140, and we're going to make ourselves a new world, and then upgrade that all the way to 1.18, and just see what happens. Anyway, I'm going to log out right here, and let's load this into 1.18. So here's our 0.14 world. It gives you the same menu. We'll hit update and play, and let's see how this loads in. Well, doesn't appear that it works very well. This is really fascinating, at the very least. So we're still at Y109, right where I logged off, and all of the terrain is kinda gone-ish, right? And the trees are still here, but everything else is gone. This is probably one of the most fascinating bugs I have ever seen. Perhaps I messed up something, but I'm kind of glad that I did, because it makes it so that we get to view this monstrosity. This is the cliff parts of the Cave and Cliffs update. So besides world spawn and everything that I previously loaded, the rest of the world is actually completely normal. Besides that over there, what is this? It appears to be just a random dripstone spike that has come through the ground, but that does not appear to go down through the ground. Yeah, this world is just kind of messed up. Probably the most fascinating part about this is that the entire loaded terrain got pushed down to Y0, so obviously nothing was generated below that because the world didn't know that anything could be generated there. And then all of this stuff is 1.18, all of that's at the correct height, and all of this stuff is at the correct height as well. You can see some of the edge blending that's happening with like the dirt and stuff. But yeah, I don't think that this bug is really actually an issue, because who in the world is gonna have a world from 0.14 or any of the other super early updates and then upgrade automatically straight to 1.18? That seems incredibly unlikely. So we're going to do a little experiment and load this world in 1.1740. As you can see, I currently have a very high FOV and I have not moved from this spot. This is actually the world spawn. So we're going to see how the terrain changes on this completely random seed and also see how the biome blending works as well, because the simulation distance of this world is currently set to 4, so that means that I've only loaded 4 chunks in every direction. So let's upgrade this to 1.18. And ta-da! As you can see, the entire plains before us has updated into these kind of jaggedy mountain ranges, and all of the savanna that we had around us previously is completely gone and replaced. There is also absolutely no harsh edges or borders from where the loaded chunks meet the new 1.18 terrain, so seeds have completely changed, going from 1.17 till 1.18, but telling by what the developers have said, they have changed for the last time in 1.18, so it should be safe to start seed searching for good seeds to use in 1.18. Here's hoping that they don't change again. By the way, I am still looking for bugs in the 1.18 updates, so if you've been playing in these betas and you've found any bugs or issues, please let me know with the pinned comment down below, and I might include it in a future episode of Bugrock. It is a prime time that we get reporting and finding all of the bugs. That way, hopefully they're not included in the full update. So on to some bug fixes. In creative mode, you can now continuously place the snow buckets or water buckets or lava buckets. Previously, this was a little bit broken and you had to click once per placement. However, now it seems to have like an additional bug. As you can see, it's multi-placing the powdered snow, and it should not really do that. We have 3 small changes to the mine shafts. So first of all, the pillars that support the runways should now be made out of logs, which is a good thing. That makes it so that we can actually get this stuff underground much easier. And these logs should also no longer be placed into lava lakes either. Mine shafts will also no longer generate the dirt rooms. You know, the big square rooms with a bunch of dirt in it that were never used for anything for like 10 years? Yeah, those have finally been removed, and there isn't really a replacement for them. I think this is where one might have generated. This is awfully square for being a cave, so you might just find little rooms like this every now and again in your mine shafts. A bug that I know a lot of you have experienced is whenever you look at shallow water while holding any form of drip leaf, it might have turned a different color. That bug has now been fixed. Okay, be honest, did you notice the bug in this picture? Did you notice the tree that's grown in the middle of this river? Because I did not until I flew around, and then I noticed there's a tree in my river. We also have a vague change, fixed an issue where terrain could be see-through. I think that this might be this bug right here where your chunks might not load and then you could kind of x-ray. I don't really know. There's no bug report associated with this and no details beyond what was just said. Forest fruits will now work correctly underneath Y level 0, so you can use these in all of the giant caves, but I would highly recommend that you be careful because these are the kind of caves that you might just wander into, or possibly fall from a high ledge and into. Like, dude, this is a lot of lava, and there's 2 layers of lava. It's the nether. It's beautiful. I'm gonna cry. We also have a pretty big change regarding mycelium. All ground vegetation can now be placed on top of it, which includes your grasses, your 2 tall grasses, your azaleas, drip leaves, ferns, your Nelium dudes, all of your sapling types, which is actually super convenient. And then you got whatever these guys are called again, every single type of flower, including, again, your 2 tall flowers, your bamboo, your sugarcane, and of course your wither roses as well. So of course, the most notable of all of these changes is the saplings. Before, you could not place saplings on mycelium, and it was super annoying. If you were building on a mushroom island, you'd have to isolate a little patch of dirt and surround it with like cobblestone or something to keep it from turning back into the mycelium, but now we no longer need to worry about that. They've also increased the chance and likelihood of an oxalotl spawning in lush caves. I just got like 4 or 5 of these guys in this one little area, and of course oxalotls will only spawn in lush caves as of now. They've also introduced tropical fish spawns to the lush caves. Tropical fish will also try to run away and evade the oxalotls. A really nice bug fix for nether side farms is the fact that magma cubes now properly aggro at iron golems. Previously, these guys just did not care about iron golems whatsoever. Even if the iron golem was actively attacking the magma cube, it still would not attack back. Also, it doesn't appear that the magma cubes can ever damage the iron golem. I haven't seen this guy take any damage at all, even when completely swarming him. However, this change comes with a rather big downside. So the big downside of this one is the fact that the slimes will no longer be aggroed at snow golems. Even if they are getting attacked by the snow golem, they just do not aggro at them at all. So it was basically the exact same issue that we just had with Magma Cubes not attacking Iron Golems. We now have that same issue, but with regular slimes and snow golems. And it's intentional? I have absolutely no idea why this has been changed, especially intentionally. The bug report regarding Iron Golems and Magma Cubes mentioned nothing about slimes or snow golems, and it just seems very strange. I'm really questioning it. Also, it ruins the entire idea of using snow golems for a slime farm, a super simple and easy way of building slime farms that I have personally done several tutorials on. So, yeah. Rips. While I'm talking about snow golems, these guys are not leaving any snow underneath them at all, and they're also not pathfinding or moving around from what I can tell, so they kind of just appear to be broken in just about every way, really. The ore distribution of Bedrock Edition has been tweaked, so now it is in parity with a Java Edition, and you can see the ore distribution graph here on screen. I don't imagine that this will change much more, as 1.18 is getting very close, so this is probably near final of what we'll have in the full update. You can now also properly find the deep slate copper ore in your Minecraft worlds. It appears to be pretty rare. I've flown around this huge cavern and have not seen any of it exposed. There's literally some right there. I didn't even need to place this. Literally just looked over and found this. Okay, well, it does generate, and it does generate exposed. I am just a blind person. Literally flew around this huge cavern for like 10 minutes looking for some. And the one place that I actually wanted to record and place some, it was literally right there. Anyway, I wanted to show you this geode and that one over there. It's fully exposed. The point stands that this stuff is fairly rare to find, so we can run this command right here, which will replace all of the deep slate copper ore in a fairly massive area. And as you can see, there is none of it around us. So let's go over to this area over here, run this command again, and there is one. So it's actually a fairly rare thing, and you're not going to be getting that much of it in your worlds. There was also a bug where lava sources were generating in the frozen oceans and icebergs, as you can see from this image on the bug tracker. This bug has been fixed, so this will no longer happen. Mojang has noticed that there was an excess amount of gold in the mesa biomes, and thus has tweaked the generation to reduce the amount of gold ore, and as a pigman, I have to condone this change. I always promote excess amounts of gold. Speaking of UI changes, there's actually been a really nice one that I've been meaning to tell you about. I noticed this randomly a couple of betas ago, and it was not mentioned in the changelogs, but in your video settings, there's now a specific slider for your render distance. I actually just talked about how I wanted this in like a couple Bugrocks ago, and they added it. I'm gonna take credit for that. So as you can see, I can go all the way from 5 chunks anywhere all the way up to 96 chunks, and of course it can tell you if your render distance is too high, it'll cause low frame rates and crashes and other unexpected behavior. Come on, it's Bedrock. We know what to expect. So of course, your device likely won't go all the way up to 96. It is still scaled with the power of your device. So if you're on Xbox, you might only get up to 20 or 30 chunks of render distance, and now we can set it to a very nice render distance number and experience our world in all of its niceness. So again, if you found any Bedrock Edition bugs, let me know in the pinned comment down below, and it might be featured in a future Bugrock episode. But otherwise, thank you ever so much for watching today's video. I hope that you have greatly enjoyed. If you have, consider leaving a like or possibly subscribing. It's the 2 best ways to support the channel, and thank you ever so much for watching. I'll see you guys down in the comment section and in the next one. And then there was silence.